Well, we have our next guest here, and from the Special Olympics, and it's nice to meet you, sir. I'm going to try and pronounce your last name. I'm horrible at that. David Armendariz?
You came really close. Armendariz.
Armendariz, all right. And you are the director of the South County, or I should say Orange County region of the Special Olympics of Southern California.
Yes, I've been with them for 5 years, and I have to tell you, it is the best job I have ever had in my life. I am surrounded by inspiring athletes and volunteers, parents who just move mountains on behalf of their kids. So it's a great job.
I bet it's very, very rewarding.
It is. You know, just seeing how hard the athletes work, how hard they train. Some people have the misconception that we're a recreation program for people with intellectual disabilities, but we are sports training and competition. So our athletes are giving it their all. They're learning sports, rules, how to compete, how to play in a team environment, and of course, just like everyone else, they like bling. They like to get the gold, the silver, the bronze. So it's fun to watch the athletes and to see the impact this program has on them and their families.
Now this is, I know you have the annual Special Olympics events and things, but you also have events throughout the year, correct?
In Orange County, we'll have 11 different competitions during the course of the year. And coming up on our calendar on Saturday, October 19th, we have our floor hockey competition in Irvine. And October 30th, we have our school basketball games. We'll have about 500 elementary, middle, and high school students participating in those basketball games in Anaheim.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're rather large. Our spring regional games won't be till next year, but we'll have close to 700 athletes competing in 5 sports that day at Irvine High School and the William Willett Aquatics Center. And we'll have over 600 volunteers there on that day of event as well, so they're really large games.
Tell me a little bit about, in general, the history of the Special Olympics. It goes back a long time ago, and from what I understand, I may be wrong about this, the people who started it were part of the Kennedy family, am I right?
Yes. It was Eunice Kennedy Shriver who started Special Olympics. She had a sister with an intellectual disability, and back then, people were put into institutions and people were more or less neglected. And the Kennedy family really set out to change that. They held a one-day outing in their backyard, and then they developed the concept to be what it is today, a sports training competition organization. The first games were at Soldier Field in Chicago. She had 1,000 athletes from Canada, the United States, and France at those games, and she predicted that one day there would be over 1 million athletes in Special Olympics, and today there are over 4 million around the globe in over 180 countries.
Wow.
And right here in Orange County, we have close to 2,000 athletes, both children, teenagers, and adults in our program, and we're doing something very, very exciting. We have just established an innovative new program called Young Athletes for preschoolers with special needs. And we're going to be implementing that program with 6 different school districts and the Orange County Department of Education. And by the end of the year, we'll have another 1,000 special needs preschoolers participating in a Special Olympics program.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
It is, and volunteers are the backbone of Special Olympics. We're a small office of 4 full-time staff. So how do we get all of this work done? It's through volunteers. It's the teachers who volunteer to offer the Special Olympics programming in their schools and their classrooms. In the community, we have over 500 coaches who give their time to run practices and to help the athletes grow through sports. The Young Athletes program is really innovative because these young kids typically have physical challenges and things that you would take for granted, running, catching, hopping, hand-eye coordination. These can be challenges for kids, and it affects their mobility. So the Young Athletes program is a play program, it's a developmental program, and we're seeing the impact. They're becoming more active instead of at recess, sitting, playing with toys. They're interacting with their peers, and that helps with their cognitive development and their social development.
Yeah, which is very important. I mean, just kids in general, just being active helps out, and playing in team sports. But for kids like this, I can really see a huge benefit. And it's really changed, I think, over the years, the perceptions that people have. Isn't that, you find that true?
Absolutely true. We have this amazing partnership with Santa Margarita Catholic High School. These teenagers, they start off in the sophomore class. They help us to put on a competition for other athletes. We'll have 500 athletes at these track and field games. So we have a small team of students, about 25 of them, who we teach how do you run a Special Olympics competition. And then those 25 to 30 students will supervise another about 300 students during the course of the competition. And they just embrace the athletes. They are so proud to put on these games for other students. And it's amazing to see the joy and the happiness that comes on their face to turn around and help others. I didn't have that when I was that age. And these kids are growing up with compassion and sensitivity, lessons on diversity and inclusiveness. So they're really terrific to see the young people as leaders.
You know what I find interesting is even on TV shows now, we're seeing special needs kids on there, Down syndrome's kids especially.
Yes.
The classic one, I know people maybe in this community not watch it, but it's Glee.
Right.
And what I love about that show, they have the character Becky, who's like the head cheerleader on the show. They do not treat her, the character, as somebody really different. They treat her, they'll play jokes on her, the characters within the thing, and she'll play jokes back on people. If you know the show, you know what I'm talking about. But it can be kind of an edgy show at times. But they treat that character as just like another high school student, and that's what I think is great about it.
I think that's been one of the most important outcomes of Special Olympics, is changing societal attitudes. Instead of seeing the disability, we're seeing the ability and what our athletes can achieve. And society has become, again, more accepting and inclusive, and seeing the value that these members of our community have. And they live in our community, and they have something really wonderful to offer to all of us.
What's the age range in Special Olympics? Simply because quite often you may have somebody who's 18 years old, but really their mentality might be that of a 10-year-old. So do you have a physical age, or how do you work that?
Well, with the Young Athletes program, we are now serving kids who are as young as 3 years old. Then we have what's called the School Partnership Program, and that's for elementary, middle, and high school. So you can start at the age of 8.
Okay.
And then we have our community program, which is primarily for adults. Our oldest athlete is 88 years old, and she bowls in Special Olympics.
That's amazing.
Yes. So all ages, everyone is welcome in Special Olympics.
Some people might be watching here today that have grandkids or great-grandkids who would really benefit from this. How would they get started if they haven't done so before?
Well, for the family or for the athlete?
Well, for the athlete, yeah. How would they get them involved? Would they contact your office, and would that be the first step? Are there regional areas they can go to?
Yes, our Orange County Regional Office is located in Santa Ana. You can call us at our office, and we will just send the enrollment forms. It's a pretty easy process to get someone on a team. And of course, if your school has a Special Olympics project, you just do that through your own, through the own school system.
Okay, and the website, the main website is sosc.org. So if you go from there and you can see /Orange County, you can get all the information there, and including all the events, correct?
Absolutely, and certainly there's volunteer opportunities, whether it's helping in the office, helping with the teams as a coach or an assistant coach. We have so many ways for people to be involved and make a difference.
Yeah, and even if you don't have coaching experience, just to be there and get involved, you'll find a place for them.
We will train you as well, so you don't have to necessarily have sports background or sports experience. So there's so many teams out there, and they need assistant coaches and people to help run their practices, and it makes the whole experience so much better for the athlete. So there's always a way for someone to be involved.
Yeah, I think it's great, and great events that you folks do, and a lot of them coming up that you can find out about. It's amazing this has gone on for this many years. It grows every single year. It's worldwide. People know of it, and it's absolutely wonderful.
Right. There's one amazing volunteer who's nearby. His name is Steve Walters. He's been chairing our Columbus Day Drive golf tournament for 10 years. He started the event. We're going to break over a $500,000 in net revenue over the course of this golf tournament. It's on October 14th at Marbella Country Club, and Marbella has been really good to us. They've been so supportive of our cause. So again, amazing volunteers who are doing fantastic things for the athletes, and Steve Walters is one of those people.
Yeah, and right now, the reason I didn't mention that too much is it's sold out, which is good news.
Yes, it is.
Good
We're
news.
very happy to be sold out. That's a nice place to be in.
Yeah, it is. So good work that you folks do, and good luck on the golf tournament. It sounds like it's going to go well in all these events that are coming up. And David, thank you for coming on and telling us about Special Olympics. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you much. And maybe next time I can bring one of our global messengers. We have
That would be
athletes
great.
who are trained to talk in public, and maybe they can come in and share their own stories about being involved in Special
Certainly,
Olympics.
we'd welcome that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in just a moment.